1:38 o'clock.
Broadcasting across Australia on Dare Media Group radio stations, this is the Sportcat Show, uncovering secret chapters, strange encounters,
and the occasional technical mishap.
There's always the technical mishap. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sportcat Show. It is Thanksgiving Eve here in the States. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we've got a couple great guests lined up tonight. If you're listening live on Dare Talk Radio in Australia, please come over and join the chat. If you have a question, we would more than welcome you in the chat. We're live there. And so first up, we got a great guest. Well, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Here's the wonderful and beautiful Miss Harley. So
hello, everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving Eve. We have a great guest, as I was saying. What the hell button did I just push? Doug, he's been here with us before, but he helps deal with grief. He's an international best-selling author, and, well, let's just bring Doug out so I don't give him a big head. Hello, Doug. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well.
Good.
You ready for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. We go through. We've had ours already. So
I was, as soon as I said that, I was like, "Wait a minute, he's in Canada."
We've had ours already. We can do it again, but
it's always good to eat turkey. So
no ham.
Oh, ham, yeah, ham. That's for Christmas with Mrs. Sportcat. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't argue with you. It's the way she was born, and well, that's the way she treats me. So I'm an abused husband. I just do what I'm told and eat what I'm told. Or is it maybe that's tamed? Oh, so Doug, you were with us before, and as soon as you come on, I was like, wait a minute, I know him. And then we were backstage telling war stories. And I was telling you that I just learned, because I'm also a disc jockey on a Thin Line rock station, where we have public safety, law enforcement, etc. And they're making a big push because tonight is Blackout Wednesday. I was not familiar with this term, but apparently people who are unhappy, are miserable, feel alone, they basically drink till they black out. And that's bad. So hopefully you can give us some advice how to stay positive. And
sounds good to me.
Yeah. And of course, by the way, anybody that wants to come join the chat, Doug will field questions. He'll give Harley therapy. It'll.
Harley needs a lot of therapy.
It's true. So, Doug, what kind of mentorship or grief counseling would you tell somebody that's feeling down and the holidays are coming up and they just got the blahs?
I've been there myself with the blahs and sort of going like, why am I doing what I'm doing? But the big thing is to think about, and I know it's easier said than done, but is drinking till you black out doesn't really solve anything. Other than the only thing it does for you is make sure that you wake up with a upset stomach or you have to hurl into a bucket or something like that. So
I only blackout drank once in my life, and that was when I was younger, but it wasn't legally drinking. And I woke up and vomit, and I was done.
See, that would do me in too.
I didn't know whose vomit it was, if it was mine or someone else's. I was done.
God. Well, I've spent most of my life in public safety, so I've seen quite a few people blackout drink. And I can't say I haven't been guilty of it, but like she said, only once or twice. I think the night I graduated from the fire academy, we were all invincible. Half the academy found out we weren't. But we were young and dumb. So, but some people can't control their drinking because they feel like it is a medication of sort. You know, it kind of pushes everything away and makes them feel better about themselves. But you're right. You're just giving yourself a headache, upset stomach, other things. And then if you are what's considered a working alcoholic, you're not safe to others. And
No,
you're not safe to yourself because the irreparable harm you're doing to your body. So,
and you haven't really solved the problem, really, because you pass out, you wake up the next day if you're lucky, and the same crap is still going on that you got to still deal with. So, and it progressively can get worse, where you end up, you may black out from alcohol this week, but next week you don't get the same buzz with the alcohol, so you switch to drugs and then goes from there. So, for the listening audience, I always proclaim that there's nothing that can be bad enough that I have to drink that much to make it go away. That we need to just sit down and have a conversation and talk our way through some of the stuff that you're struggling with, you're dealing with, whether it's grief or just what's going on in the world today. But we can work our way through that.
Yeah, a lot of people a lot of times this time of year, it's loneliness because they feel like they are alone. So
I can I can relate to that. I actually wrote, this was sort of validation, I guess, if nothing else, but I was going through, not too horribly long ago here, I was going through a bit of a rough road where going through the loneliness thing. And I wrote a couple blog articles and pushed it out on LinkedIn. And the next thing I know is I'm getting messages and phone calls from people wanting to make sure I was okay, that the tone of the messages, the articles I wrote got people thinking that, gee, I hope he's not going to do some harm to himself. And I got thinking, had I not have written those two pieces, I probably could stay lonely for a long period of time before somebody would actually reach out and sort of do a health check and say, okay, how are you doing, and kind of go that way. So
sometimes it's nice to have people do wellness checks on you just to check and make sure you're okay. Because honestly, Glenn does that to me all the time, especially with the way life's been smacking me in the face. But yeah.
She's learning grown-up things. So yeah, and with social media now, it's easier. I mean, it's easier and harder in some ways because I don't know what they call. There's a name for the connection. You can develop a bond with people online you've never met, just in communication back and forth. So it's easier that way. But then you're just talking to a screen, and so I don't know if social media is good for that or not. It's good to send people messages and reach out, but
and on social media, you can mask like how you really feel, and like people don't really know if that's how you are or not, because you could just say, yeah, I'm good, and not really be, and they believe you because they have no other option to but believe you because you're masking. I mask a lot. I really do. Like only people who really know me know what I go through. And so I mask a lot. And that has to do with my autism and ADHD. I put on a front because I work with the public all day, and that takes a toll on me mentally and emotionally alone. And especially with today being Thanksgiving Eve, like this time of year, people come out and they're not exactly thinking, well, what I'm going to say going to affect the person that I'm saying this to.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like extra just rude and harsh and it just being in public. That's why I'm glad I have the couple days to decompress from the last couple days that I've had, and it's very stressful.
The masking, while it may serve a short-term purpose, it doesn't serve a long time. So, and you said autism or autistic?
Yeah, I have autism and ADHD.
Okay. Yeah, because my granddaughter has autism. So, so we, my daughter looks after her and takes care of her and all of that sort of stuff. So, and she's absolutely a brilliant young lady, as I'm sure you are as well. That she's doing things that you would just never ever think in somebody that was 11 years of age, and she's designing computer programs and all sorts of different stuff. So, but for the listening audience, some things to think about is that number one, it's okay to come out of the closet and reach out and ask for help or for somebody to walk beside me, because you don't need to be lonely. I was at a bereavement group meeting last night, and that was one of the things was I said, I'm not looking forward to the next few days because, I'm going through another go of loneliness and that. And I had a couple people say, well, just give me a call and we can get together for a coffee. And so, there was that little push, that nudge that I needed to come out of the closet and to be able to move forward and plug into them and feed off of their energy, so that I'm not wallowing in my self-pity.
And a lot of times bad things can happen and you'll lose someone around the holidays. And that's even worse. I don't know if I told you this or not, but since we last talked, I was in Tennessee taking care of my aunt. She was hospice, and we were very close. And I had to go through, as a paramedic, we're used to pushing drugs, saving lives, rushing to the hospital. So this was totally the opposite for me. Here I'm giving drugs to make her comfortable and knowing she's going to pass. And I'll be honest, I was, it was our family home in Tennessee, but I felt like I was an island, no matter, the family and everybody was around me, but because of what I was having to do and go through. And to this day, and to be honest, I don't know that I've ever, quote, grieved, because, well, for one thing, in the field, they tell you to hold it in, be tough. Yeah, so there is that, I had 30 years of that training. A lot of good that does you. But I learned about that. But I don't know that I ever technically, we went through the whole process with the family coming in and the funeral and all that. But I don't know that I ever technically shed a tear. I don't know that I ever broke down. So I I don't know if I've come to grips with it yet, I guess is what I'm saying. But
as somebody that's been there, I highly recommend that you try to grieve as much as you possibly can, because what will happen is that somebody else will pass, heaven forbid, but someone else will pass, and then all of a sudden you've got all this grief compounded on top of each other, and it's very difficult to sort through that. And the difference can, because I like my mom passed in 2007, my wife in 2021, and I found, and of course it's different. I mean, mom versus, you know, your significant other who you're very, very close with. But it was a tough go for me trying to sort through all that sort of stuff, simply because when my mom passed, everything happened so quickly, and you're trying to deal with that, and it's a struggle. And so I always suggest to people that taking the time to properly grieve is a good step. It's a good step for sure.
And they say there's 5 steps of grieving. Is that right?
No, let's not go there.
Oh, so is that old school? I mean, that's what they taught me in paramedic school. There's 5 steps.
Yeah. It was there was 5. There's 7 steps. And the problem with the step concept is that people think that they have to follow them in order. So I do step 1, and then I can move to step 2, and then, what am I going to do if something happens and I kind of fall off the tracks? Can I go back to step 1? And so what I usually tell people is there are phases that you will go through, and it's okay if you jump to the end of the list of phases. That's okay, but don't get caught up in the fact that you have to go from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 in that. And you're right, that was old school thinking, was having all these different phases that you had to go through in order and stuff. So no, that's in the last, I think it was in the last book that I did, and the research that I did for that was one thing that jumped out, was that's still the old kind of, it's the old way of thinking, but it's still some people are still following that.
Yeah, well, because that was part of, in paramedic school, they teach us that. And because a lot of times in rural areas, especially, we would pronounce people, and we would have to switch from being caregiver to one to a different kind of caregiver to a family member. And having to tell a family that is horrible, especially if it's we always had a problem with the elderly, the real elderly that were home being cared for, and the children. Those two were always the toughest, because you grieve for what you had with the elderly, and you grieve for what you would have had with the young. And so that was always tough for us. And I always, as a paramedic, it was my job. I had to tell them. And so, yeah, that was no fun, especially around the holidays. But it does happen. And COVID changed all that, too. A lot of times somebody got really sick. You just left them there. And they had to basically, I hate to say deal with it, but I mean, that was the reality. There was nowhere to go. So that was horrible. Glad that we're past that part of time. Glad I'm out of doing that too, by the way. But one thing you said that really hit with me is because I don't know if I told you this last time, but I was attacked on duty by a pit bull, and I went through a year and a half of physical therapy, and then I went to occupational therapy. You know, you're climbing ladders, you're pulling things, stuff firefighter would do. And in my head, I was going back on that fire truck. That was all I wanted. You know, I wanted to be back on that fire truck doing my job. And I saw in my left hand, I can't grip. I have no strength in it. And hell, I can't feel it half the time. But up here, I was still fit for duty. Well, hell, I'm 57 and I still feel like I'm fit for duty. But when I went to the final appointment with the orthopedic surgeon, God love him, he was great. He's the orthopedic surgeon for the Braves and the Hawks, and so he's a professional. And he's a special hand surgeon, which I didn't know there was a difference. And he jumped up on the table and is talking to me. He goes, look, I don't think anybody's really talked to you about this, but we're at the end of the line with workers' comp and where we can get you. He said, and I'm not going to release you. And I was like, you're not going to release me for what? You know? And he's like, you're not fit for duty. And I don't know if that was the exact way he said it, but he basically told me your career's over. And at that moment, it was like something snapped in me. All those calls, all that trauma, all the things just come out. I was instantly pissed. Then I was crying. Then I was babbling. And like, I don't know if I told you this, but I'm surprised they didn't put me in an institution that day. But he said, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, but I can tell you right now, you have PTSD. He goes, so you get a different kind of therapy now. Bye.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a literal feeling. Like you said, it was stored up and it literally felt like something like a rubber band snapped, or, I mean, a physical feeling. And it was all out there. That was a rough few months. But I don't think you ever get over PTSD. I don't think that ever goes away.
I can't walk. Okay, so, well, you know this, Glenn. A couple of years ago, back like at the tail end of COVID, I got hit by a car, like while walking, hit by a car and thrown 10 feet. Smacked my head pretty hard on the ground, like really hard, to the point I have what's called concussion syndrome. So I have a permanent concussion, and I had to have my shoulder reconstructed because it tore my whole shoulder up. And my spine's pretty damaged from it, to where, it causes migraines, and my migraines went away for a good time, but they're back now.
Oh, God.
And so, I can't walk past the street, and it's my direct path to work every day without having an anxiety attack now. Like, I have to completely walk on the other side of the street, keep my eyes straight ahead and not even look. Because, like, there's this big tree at the end of the, like, on the other side of the, like, when you cross this way right here, that I know when it's coming, that's where I got hit, and I go into anxiety about it.
And I'm not in what I do for a living, I'm not supposed to prescribe, but I can suggest. And have you looked at EMDR?
I'm on, well, okay, so I have a happy vape.
Yeah. Okay, that's close, but not quite what I was thinking.
Well, I have that because that helps with the nerve damage in my back.
Yeah.
And they gave me muscle relaxers, but I don't take those because they make me groggy, and I've got kids, so.
Yeah.
And so, they want to do spine surgery, but I won't let them. Because they keep saying, there's a possible chance of paralyzation. And every time they say paralyzation, I'm out.
Yeah. So
That's good.
I was going to just add to when you talked about, you know, the one thing that popped to my mind was when after Deborah passed, she passed away in the hospital in palliative care, and I couldn't drive past that hospital without breaking down and crying. And so I went to a counselor, and we did the whole EMDR therapy that they take you through, and it helped a lot.
Yeah, that's a good therapy. They use it for PTSD frequently. And one thing she said too, doctors are so quick to throw a pill at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the conspiracy of big pharma or if they just don't care. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where that balance is, but yeah, a lot of times you'll just go, okay, well, here, this will make you feel better.
Well, see, it's if I know I don't have to work the next day, then I'll take the medication I'm supposed to take. But if I know I have to work that next day, I won't, because of the fact that come the next day, I'm too groggy to do anything I need to do. And I really don't like how it makes my brain feel.
Yeah. With me, when I was going through all the physical and occupational therapy, at some point I decided, okay, I'm not going to take these pills because I was busy then. I was 2 days a week in a gym, 3 days a week at occupational therapy. So I was always on the go. And I think that I used a lot of the physical exercise to help me push through that, and just stubbornness. Pain is fear leaving the body type of attitude.
Yeah, that's me right there.
So, well, no, they taught us in the fire academy. That was one of our instructors. Famous quote.
I was raised by a military man, so
my instructor was a Marine Corps drill sergeant. So
my grandfather was an Army Vietnam veteran, so that was instilled in my brain. And I had surgery on my shoulder, came home that same day, was up taking care of children. Yeah. So, like, I got hit by the car and then went to work right after being hit by the car with my arm hanging there.
Oh, my God. Okay, that might be a mental illness.
Well, no, I was told if I didn't come to work, I was going to be fired. So,
yeah.
I think being hit by a motor vehicle might be an example.
Well, she thought I was lying. She said, I don't believe you. Even the cop got on the phone and said, ma'am, she's not lying. She said, so you're her friend lying for her?
Oh, that's a horrible boss.
Like, oh yeah, gosh. I'm going to lie about being hit by a car.
It's a normal Tuesday. Good Lord. Oh, yeah, that's the file that is probably the worst boss I think I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah.
It reminds me we would run vehicle accidents.
Feed on OnlyFans, Glenn.
Oh, yeah, no. When we would run a motor vehicle accident with young kids, high school age kids just starting to drive, they always said the same thing: "Mom's going to kill me," and I was like, "Let me tell you, son. I've been doing this for 20 years and I haven't ran a call where a parent killed them yet." So, oh Lord, it's bad. The things that we put in our head are put in our head predictive programming. And a lot of it we're finding out now is no good. So,
yeah.
Like you said, I didn't know the steps was an old thing. I was like, oh, that's new to me.
Yeah, it's just because if you go through and you read some of the research and stuff on it, they've actually, even now, some of the so-called experts have started to make the shift where they talk about the steps being actual phases, so that people don't get hung up or caught up in the aspect of, I have to do this according to this order a sequence or whatever. And, these are the expected or anticipated outcomes that are going to come as a result of following that process. And what I found was that that's not the case, that, they're tools that you have in your toolkit to be able to, if you're doing grief work, that's tools that you've got in your toolkit to be able to help. And it's much the same as PTSD as well. So,
not everybody grieves the same way. So,
yeah.
Harley may be an open weeper, and I may be a suck it up kind of person. So, yeah.
No, I'm a suck it up kind of person.
Yeah. So,
well, yeah, that's very much old school, because I think when I think back to my policing days and being in isolated locations where you were there by yourself, if something happened traumatic, and the next, if you were living in, we'll call it civilization, you had somebody that you could go to provide you, the support that you needed. Where I was, that was not available whatsoever. So it was, even I had a supervisor or a boss that I worked for, and it was, what do you mean you can't get out there and get working? So just suck it up, buttercup, and get out there. And so you'd load everything in the truck and away you'd go on patrol again. And you hadn't really dealt with, some of that stuff. Like I had one situation where a young lad had taken his own life with a gun, and I ended up having to transport his body out to a place for an autopsy. It was 8 hours, gravel road, 40 below weather. And if, so you're exposed to that sort of thing. And with that came a whole bucket load of post-traumatic stress that I ended up dealing with. And actually that in that particular situation, my wife to be went with me because no one else would. Even my working partner said, well, we got to find someone to go with you. And I said, well, what's wrong with you? Well, no, I should stay and keep the peace here in the community. And I'm thinking, it was okay for me to be by myself, but it's not okay for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's old school. Well, also, I wanted to give you extra time because you said you were excited about it. You wanted to talk about the paranormal. So I'm going to ask you the questions we always ask. If you've ever had any paranormal experiences, and what the heck were they? So,
yeah, the one that stands out, the most predominant one, was back probably 2005 or thereabouts. My daughter was engaged to get married, and my mom had been diagnosed right around the same time I'd been diagnosed with cancer. And I went to, it was the middle of the night, and I went to the hall closet where it was my walk-in closet, and there was this image that was standing there, and I said, what do you want? And basically what I got out of the virtual conversation, if you want to call it that, was that they were there to take my mom. And I basically said, can you take somebody else and not my mom? Because I would like her to be able to see her granddaughter get married. And to make a long story short, that's what eventually happened, was that they decided not to take her. So she went from, I think it was May timeframe until December or some time frame like that. It was a fairly significant amount of time where they left her alone, so to speak, and then eventually she did pass from. She had cancer, so she did pass from cancer, but at least her granddaughter got to see her get married. So, and it was just that image, and you know how you have a conversation, but you don't have sort of your, yeah, you know what that part's all about. So that's been my predominant one that I always think of that one. When Deborah passed, I was inundated with all kinds of images in the house and in the bedroom and all kinds of stuff like that, and trying to find out what they wanted and how long they were going to, how long are we going to keep this up, going back and forth. Like at one stage I had 3 or 4 young people come running at the bed and jump in the air, and I said, "What are you doing?" And they stopped, and I said, "What do you want?" And they looked at me like kind of different, and then they just disappeared and they were gone.
Wow, like they were questioning themselves. He can see us, like that type of look.
Yeah.
Wow, that is weird. Had there been any children around, or was it?
No. And you know, I've had instances where I've turned and looked, and there's been children in the place I'm living in now, but there's also been animals too. Like we had a German Shepherd dog, and he's appeared in the house from time to time, and never had that experience before.
Wow, has that been recent, or is that?
Yeah, it's been fairly, I would say within the last 3-4 months that I've noticed Storm, the dog's name was Storm, that I've noticed him coming, you know, and he would hang around in the house or come and lay at the beside the couch or something like that, and then he'd disappear.
Wow, and he looked like me or you. I mean, you know, he looked physical in shape and form.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The subject that you saw when you were going into your closet, what did that entity look like?
That one, and the reason it sticks in my mind more is because that one it had more, the image that was there was more lifelike than what I'm seeing now. But and it was, we were able to carry a conversation without speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, because I remember that when Mom did pass, I was in the hospital room that she passed in, and I had said that I was sorry that I wasn't able to get her more time, and that, you know, because she had just passed and stuff, and didn't get any responses or anything like that from her at that particular time. But I've gone through some different things. I've done past life regression. I've been to psychic and a medium. In fact, I go, when my when my mom passed, I went to a psychic to get closure so that I could make sure that she'd crossed over and she was okay. And then I did the same sort of thing with when my wife Deborah passed. I went to a medium and we got a little deeper into, and you know, the medium would ask her questions and actually get some responses back that you sometimes you get people that say, well, if they already know what it is you're going to be asking, they can make up the answers so that, that sort of way. And none of that happened in my case. It was all unscripted, if you want to use that term.
Yeah, I've heard that frequently. People will be like, well, that could be what they look in their 8-ball and tell everybody, so like predictive programming. But then I've had other, I don't know if the right word is psychic, but other people that could give you something that there's no possible way,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and those people are unique and have a skill. So yeah, that's fascinating. So did you find out that everything they had passed over to the other side successfully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That right there in itself is a weight off of your shoulders.
Well, and it's, call it therapeutic or call it, whatever you want, but it serves a purpose, because I was always left in doubt as to, okay, what now? Like, what takes place next? And it was always that was the pathway that I was supposed to take. I was supposed to set up a time, an appointment, and meet with the psychic and or the medium, and my questions would be answered.
Did it take you a while to find this person, or that can answer these questions, or is?
No, the medium, the one I went to, she has a year waiting list to get in to see her.
Wow.
Because she's very, very good at what she does. I've gone to a couple others that were just referrals, people that have said, I've gone to this person, maybe give them a try and stuff and see how they are. And they're good, but they're not as good as this other one that's got the waiting list. And obviously having the waiting list is sort of gives you the, the understanding there must be something, this person must be good because they've got people, because we were at the thing I was at last night, we were talking about quite a bit about the using psychics and mediums as a means or a way to get closure. And so we were talking about that, and she's like $250 for an hour.
Wow.
How do they do the past life regression?
Sorry, say.
How do they do the past life regression?
It was a hypnotherapy.
Okay.
So you do hypnosis, and then the hypnotherapist starts asking you questions like, what are you wearing? And, whereabouts are you and what are you traveling in? And in my case, I was in a boat, in a rowboat, and I described the clothing that I had on, and I had one of my guardian angels, that's what it was. Guardian angel was in the boat with me, and the boat moved on its own when you didn't have to paddle or do anything like that. And I remember we got the boat docked on the shore, and so the hypnotherapist asked me what I saw, and I said, well, I see a light off in the distance. And she said, do you want to go and see more of that light? And I started to cry and said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And she said, tell me why. And I said, the last time I was there, I could have been hurt seriously because they didn't like me at all. And she said, well, do you want to stay or what do you want? I said, let's get in the boat. And we got in the boat and we went further. And it ended up that took me back to a time when Jesus was still roaming the streets, and we ended up landing in a place that was similar to that, and we went through the same questions and stuff, and we actually had a number of local people that were in this, we'll call it, community, that they all come running towards me, and they started just touching, and they wanted they had to touch me, and then there was a young boy that come up to me, and he looked at me and his eyes looked into mine, and I could see he was going through all this pain and agony and stuff. So I reached out and I put my hand on his head, and his pain and everything disappeared. And so then the guardian or the hypnotherapist said, do you want to go again? So we go in a different direction, and actually the boat wouldn't go the one direction, it would only go the other. And we ended up, I said, that's it, I'm done, I've got nothing left. So, but I went through 3 different past lives, and the thing that she asked a question in each one, what do you do? What is your purpose? And I said, I'm a healer. And so that's kind of followed or stuck with me ever since then. And that was quite a number of years ago.
Wow. That's incredible. And when you're hypnotized, do you remember these things, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're, it's not like when you think of a hypnotized where you get your eyes closed and you're dancing like a chicken. So you're conscious and you know what. Okay. Wow.
Because Deborah my wife was still alive when I was doing this, and she was the same as what you were. She said, there's no damn way that you're going to do that. You're not going to end up, because you know what's going to happen to you is that you're going to end up running bare ass naked down the street, and there's nothing I can do to stop you once you get there to that point. And I said, but it's not like that. This is actually, they do hypnotherapy to get people to quit smoking, to people to do weight loss, and past life regression is a specialty that this hypnotherapist did. And I said, she wants, because I was mentoring her at the time, and she said, why don't you let me hypnotize you in place of payment for services and stuff. And she said, and besides that, it'll help you get a better understanding of what it is that I do. And so that's what we did. And Deborah was still not a happy person when I came home and said, guess what I did?
She didn't believe it then.
No. She actually, when I told her the sequence and all that sort of stuff, after a while, it took her a little bit of time, but she started to come around, and she would be kind of a 60% believer. I'll take 60%.
Yeah. Wow. You went back a ways. You went back BC.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a story like that. And have you put that to pen and paper?
I haven't, not yet.
Ah, okay. Do you plan on it?
Well, I think the place, because I'm actually I've started to gather my thoughts and stuff to do book number 4. So I've written 3, and book number 4 was going to be grief and spirituality. And I think there'll be spaces or places in there where we'll be able to interject some of this stuff we just talked about now.
Yeah. And that could be helpful because, like you said, a lot of people don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So some people believe that when you close your eyes, you're just gone. You're just dead. And of course, there's the typical you either go up or go down people. So I guess the only way you're going to find the answer to it is, well, when you get to that point. So that's the only way you get an answer. So.
Well, yeah, and the like I said earlier too, was the one thing that I do when I'm working with people is I suggest to them that if they're looking for closure, that going through a psychic or a medium, it's an option. I'm not about to push and force and suggest to people that, okay, this is the only thing that you can do, because there's other ways we can deal with your grief rather than, having you spend money to go and see these professionals. So,
well, how do I say this? When you mentor the people, even if they're not going through the grief, you can prepare them for
yes,
prepare you for grief, but that doesn't sound right. But you can coach. That's a better word. You can coach people better how to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, you can. And what I've found so far, I think I've only had maybe 4 or 5 instances where we had the conversation last night at this group I was at. Was a couple of them know that I do the grief mentoring work, and that I sometimes suggest using a psychic or a medium. And some of them, and they were believers. They said, well, if it works, then let's give it a try and see if it does work for us. Because I said, for me, that's where I go right out of the gate. If I've got a loved one that passes away and I want to know that they crossed over, that's where I go. Is I try to find a psychic or a medium that's not got a year-long wait list.
Yeah. It also sounds like with some of the things you've seen, the veil is a little bit lighter for you to allow you to see things.
Yes. Yeah.
And do you put any of that into your mentoring, your coaching?
Into the mentoring, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And how often do you work with the public? Is it frequently or every day? How often do you work with people mentoring and stuff, groups?
Yeah, usually it's every day, because I work with people locally, but I also work with people that I do some stuff with the American corporate partners, so helping U.S. military transition from service to civilian life. And we get more post-traumatic stress than anything else, but we do have that conversation about grief. And some of them have gone through the loss of body parts, limbs, and things and there's grief that goes with that. So
do you work with like military veterans? And
yeah, I do.
That's good.
yeah, that's amazing. They need more, like, I'm not exactly sure where you're at, but like I know here in some of the states that I've lived in, because I've lived in Oklahoma and I live in Ohio now. But they, the mental health services that they offer military veterans are not what they really should be. Like my my kid's father was put, like, he's a veteran, and for his them to get him services, like they could only offer him with a virtual one.
Mm.
And in all honesty, most of veterans are older. Well, there's younger ones too, but like, what about the older ones who have no knowledge on how to use technology like this? And that's where it bothers me, because when my grandfather was still alive, they did not offer him any therapy, and that man could have used it. And he turned to the bottle
Yeah.
instead of therapy, because when he came back from Vietnam, he had it was bad. Well, I wasn't around when he came back, but I was around for I grew up with him. So 4th of July and holidays like that, Memorial Day, any holiday that had fireworks involved in it, it was bad. Like I seen some of those flashbacks he had where he thought he was back in Vietnam and he was flipping the couch over and screaming at my grandmother like she was one of the Vietnamese people who was coming with bombs strapped to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, that's what I grew up with. I saw all this, and they didn't offer him any therapy, and that man could have used it, because, like, when he passed, he had a case, not a big case that they had just bought before he had passed, full of the big gallon-sized bottles of vodka.
Wow.
And because he'd go through one of those in 2 days.
Wow. Well, history shows us that we have not treated our veterans right. I mean, from that era, we definitely failed them.
Yeah, I know it's much the same in Canada as well.
Yeah.
The vets aren't getting the attention that they should have.
Yeah, and like the Vietnam veterans came back and they got it bad.
And I'm afraid that we're about to have history repeat itself with what's going on down in the Gulf of America. So I'm afraid, but history does repeat itself sometimes. All right, Doug, we are running out of time here. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you, and if they need anything, how they can get in touch with you, because you do have a calm, reassuring voice, and it seems to me that you can take anything pretty much thrown at you. So,
well, thank you for that, and so if people want to get a hold of me, they can go through my website and do the contact button sort of. So the website's www.TalentC. So the word talent with the letter C on the end, .ca. You can also reach me on LinkedIn. Just do a search, and I'm fairly active on LinkedIn. And then finally, the best way for you to get a hold of me, especially if it's something that's urgent, is to send me an email at doug.lawrence, LAWRENCE, at TalentC, so talent with the letter C on the end, .ca, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. And for those of you that are interested, you can also go to Amazon.com, and my latest book, Grief, the Silent Pandemic, it's available. It's for sale there. And there's 2 other books. You Are Not Alone has quite a bit to do with post-traumatic stress and my time in the police force and dealing with that. And my first book is The Gift of Mentoring. And so it's basically mentoring 101, if for lack of a better choice of words. So those are the 3 books. And please feel free to reach out at any time. There's no reason why you should suffer. You just need to know that I'm there for you, and just reach out and we'll work things out.
I have actually read your books, Doug.
Okay.
I've read, and I really liked them.
Thank you.
I read almost all of our guests' books.
She is a reader. Doug, I will put all that in the show notes too. So
Okay, thank you.
It probably won't be tonight, but by tomorrow sometime maybe Friday. Maybe Friday. I'll get it in the show notes. So anybody that's listening later, you can come find us on the Sportcat shows and look up the show, and it'll be in the show notes. Doug, have a great evening.
We'll not be there tomorrow because Glenn will be stuffing his face with turkey.
It's football. It's football. So,
Football,
Doug, I know you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas coming up. So, and Happy New Year. And hopefully you come back and visit us again.
Hopefully,
Tomorrow is my mother's birthday.
There you go. All right, Doug, have a great evening. We will see you soon. All right.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right, let me pay some bills here real quick. Find a button, and gotta find this button.
Broadcasting across Australia on Dare Media Group radio stations, this is the Sportcat Show, uncovering secret chapters, strange encounters,
and the occasional technical mishap.
Occasional.
As you know, we always have 2 guests every night, and tonight is no exception. This guest is also returning again, Tricia Copeland. She's been on here, and we're going to go from talking about grief to Middle Earth. Hey, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, Glenn. Hi,
Oh, it's my favorite author. I love her book.
Well, there you go. Tricia, I don't need to
that
introduce
makes my
her.
day. No, yes.
I don't need to introduce Tricia. It's her favorite author.
That's a great place to start.
Yeah, no kidding.
I get updates about her in my email and everything.
Are you a stalker, Harley?
Yes.
I love stalkers. I will take all the stalkers.
No,
as long as you're not really outside my house.
No, I follow all our authors so we could get updates on them and all that.
Well, Tricia, since we last spoke, what's been going on?
It's been a great fall. A little more warm than normal. So we're finally getting cold weather right in time for Thanksgiving. So that feels more normal. Just enjoying all the emails from my readers that are finally getting around to the finale, to be a fae of my Realm Chronicles series. So that came out in July. So that was super fun. And to have a series finished is, a really big accomplishment. And it's a lot of fun because a lot of people won't read series until they're like completely finished and then they start. So
that would be me. Because I'll be afraid I'll forget about it or something. So yeah, that would be me.
Right, yeah. I can appreciate that.
You're in Colorado, right?
I am, yes.
That's right. Yeah, you originally. It's Brett coming back to me. You were a Georgian, Atlanta, yes. I believe, and then.
I went to college in Atlanta. I grew up in South Georgia. Yeah, so.
Oh, you went to Athens. You were one of those party girls. I got it.
No. Yeah, no, not me.
Well, now you've got all the snow out there, and you all got a big one coming too, don't you? Next week? Or is it this week?
Over the weekend, we're supposed to have some snow. Yes, so that'll be the first day of snow, and it's like a record for us in the Denver area of how many days we've gone without snow. It's like 290 something or something like that. Yeah, so It's very strange.
Well, here in Atlanta, if there's one snowflake, it's everything's shut down. So.
Well, my family is there, and they said they had flurries like last week, and we've had nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We have flurries right now, and we had snow last week and the week before here in Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah. And you're going to get dumped on too soon. So, with the great lake effect. So
Believe me, we've already got it today, like really bad winds, and it's cold enough for the ice to stick to the ground. So tomorrow's going to be fun.
it's the same thing.
I've got my flannel on, so yeah.
I'm a little more festive. I've got my Hawaiian Thanksgiving shirt on. So how long did it take you start to finish your whole series?
The whole series, 2020, I believe. Yeah, 2020, I think I published the first book. And so 5 books, so 1 book a year. Yeah. So it was 5 years to finish the whole series.
Wow. And when you started, did you know where the end was?
Yes, I knew there's the antagonist needed to be gone in some way. So yeah, I pretty much knew that the antagonist had to be taken care of. She needed to be getting rid of, and that would end the series.
Okay. All right. So you had I guess like a blueprint of how to get there, or?
I didn't know how that was going to happen or how they were going to do that or accomplish that. That kind of came at the end. Writing the last book, I figured that out. So I usually I know the ending. Each book I'm writing, I know the beginning and the ending, and then I make things up as I go along to get there, basically, when I'm writing. So yeah, that makes it fun for me too. If I have a blueprint or an outline of everything that's going to happen in the book, it's just boring for me. I can't write it.
It doesn't feel natural. Yeah.
Right.
I remember last time I pointed out how her fae looks just like her.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You did. Now that I'm remembering it. So
I'm going to have to get some better hair dye here.
That's what I'm
you have the
doing
right color
tomorrow.
hair.
Well, mine's all faded.
Don't do a thing. Don't change for anyone. It's overrated. So if I recall, were you one of the authors that told me that with your characters, you had almost like a relationship where you could talk to them and they could talk to you? And I'm not talking like metaphysical, but I'm thinking creative wise, and they would tell you kind of some direction.
Right. Yeah. When I'm writing a book, I am, well, if I'm not like actually working, but driving in the car, doing dishes, doing chores, I am constantly thinking about either what I've just written and if that makes sense, and thinking about the character background and their history and where they think they're going and what they would do next. So then I'm thinking, okay, what are they going to do next? How would they respond to this? And a lot of times I'll have written one thing and I'll think about it for a while and go, no, that wasn't exactly right, because they wouldn't do that. So I really have to get in their character heads.
Okay. All right. No. And well, you said it was boring if you had a strict script, so to speak. So I guess, what do you call it? Flying by the seat of your pants.
And yeah, I fall in love with characters too easily too. Probably I had in a previous series, the Kingdom Journals series, I had a character, and giving a little bit away, but he was supposed to be a bad guy. Like he was supposed to be the person who was trying to trap the good witch into, and he was going to kidnap her. And that was his character. That's how I had envisioned and written him. And he was so good at acting the part of being nice to her that I just kind of fell in love with him. And so I decided that he couldn't really be bad, that she could suspect he was bad, but he wasn't going to end up being bad in the end. And then, yeah, he got his own book and it was a whole spinoff thing. So yeah.
That's cool. You didn't kill him off, did you?
I did not kill him off. I've only killed off like one major character that was really, really hard. So
I was going to ask, how does it feel to do that?
It's very sad, and a lot of readers were not very happy with me. But I kind of knew where I wanted the series to go, and yeah, it sort of needed to happen. So yeah. But
if they're telling you that it's bad, that means they're engaged, and that means
right. You feel something for these characters, and that's what you want, right? Yeah, I want to do that when I'm reading too. So
Yeah, and that, like I said, you feel engaged and you have an emotion about that particular
Right.
character. Like when they killed Superman when I was a kid.
Oh my goodness,
That's
I
something away
know.
about that. I was like, wait, Superman.
No, we gotta stop.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's comic books are like soap operas. They just pop right back up. So,
Well, that's the good thing about fantasy. We can usually bring people back to life.
yep. Have you done that in any of your books?
I have not done that yet.
Ooh, here's an idea.
Yeah, it is an idea. I mean, in my books, in this crossover series, the Kingdom Journals and Realm Chronicles is a crossover series. So a lot of the characters continue, the main antagonist continues throughout the series. So, but the souls are eternal. So you can't ever like completely get rid, and souls have power and they can physically interact with our world and the other Fey realms. So you can't ever like completely get rid of someone or a soul. So I guess you could, reincarnate them in a body in some way.
And isn't one of your characters also has basically superpowers? That's probably not wording it right on the human side, but then on the other side, I guess I want to say normal. Is that
right? So the fairies live in the Fey realm, which is I call Middle Earth, which is under our bedrock. So we live in our normal world. The humans go on as normal, and the Fey have fairy rings that they can go under our bedrock, and that's where they live. That's their realm. It looks much like our realm, except they don't have our modern technology. And in their realm, they have pretty much normal, they're like normal humans as far as strength. But when they enter our human realm, then they have near vampire strength and senses and speed and all of those things.
awesome?
Right.
I like that. And how did you come up with these ideas? Were you influenced by someone or?
I saw a picture of a fairy and she was hunched in a meadow and she looked scared or concerned or worried or something. And I'd never written about fairies. I'd written about witches and vampires, never thought about writing about fairies, but I was sitting there bored and I was like, okay, what's the deal with this fairy? Like, what is she scared of? Why is she scared? Like, who is she? What is she going to do about so I just kept asking myself questions about the world she lived in and what she would do if like I decided that she was scared there were invaders invading their realm, and who was she, what was she going to do about that, and could she really do something about that? And so yeah, I created her whole world around that one image of a fairy.
Wow, that's cool. So that's incredible character development.
Yeah, it's funny because I wrote a short story first and I thought, well, I submitted it to an anthology, but the anthology didn't go anywhere. It never got produced. But then I had that short story sitting there, and with my Kingdom Journal series and the finale to that series, the witches needed an army to help them fight this evil other witch. And I thought, who was going to help the witches? Who would help the witches? Like the vampires wouldn't help the witches because they're mortal enemies. So I thought, oh, I could have my fairies help the witches. And then that's how kind of the Fae series, the Realm Chronicles series, jumped off of that. So once she was in their series, then I was able to think about giving her her own series.
Awesome. Now, do you do research on this stuff? Or
the funny thing is I didn't do any research about the Fae before I wrote Fae. And I kind of wished I had a little bit, but you have to create your own. Even if I'd done research, I probably would have created my own fairy the way I wanted to. I mean, maybe I would have named the characters a little bit differently if I've done more research, but everybody has their own spin on fantasy characters. So I don't think I would have made them any different. Like a lot of times the popular Fae don't have wings. And they have, a little bit different like political structures. It's more about the politics and the And I do have some politics in my fae stories too, but so my fae are just different than other people's fae, and that's fine. I think that's what makes fantasy so rich. Everybody has a little bit different take on things.
Yeah.
As I was doing the series, I brought in a lot more fantasy characters, and I did do research on those because in the last book I needed like 12 different types of fantasy characters, and that took a lot of research to really dig in and find like which characters I was going to incorporate and who they were, and if the fairies could find them. So I did a lot of research for that. Yeah.
Okay. Now this will be probably an odd question to you, but do you believe that there's other worlds?
I definitely do. I mean, it's funny because my husband talks about like the multiverses, and there are multiple universes at the same time. And that kind of freaks me out. Like there's another person like me, but a different time shift. I don't really understand that. But if you talk to me about like angels and demons and souls, and I will totally believe that. So real science, not so much, but the spiritual world, definitely.
Well, but vampires, do you think they exist?
I think they could exist. I think vampire-like creatures or humans could exist, definitely, or have existed at one point, or will exist at one point in the future, because there's a whole like history and future to come. So yeah.
If you go down to New Orleans, they are adamant vampires exist. I don't know what about one area is, but
well, if you've done research, I don't know if you've done research on this, but there's a whole group of people around the world that get together and drink human blood. So
no,
yeah,
I had not.
It's a thing.
Yes.
It's a thing.
Wow. Okay.
I'm
no,
a
I had not. No.
Like vampire fanatic, so yeah, I know all of that creepiness behind it. And like they sleep in the coffins and everything too. They live like they would be a vampire.
Wow. Okay. No, you got me on that one. No, if you remember, my thing's Bigfoot. But
right, yeah.
not saying I don't believe in other things, but and we've talked to some people from down in that area. And then of course you get into some of the voodoo stuff too, but yeah, they are adamant about it, so I can see it.
Yeah, I was in New Orleans for the first time this past spring, and I had so much fun. I love just like walking around, looking at the houses. Can't remember the name of the vampire restaurant there that you drink red sangria out of blood bags, and it's a whole theme.
Well, they filmed Vampire Diaries and the originals down in New Orleans.
Right.
Well, they did more Vampire Diaries in Georgia, I think.
Yeah.
But the originals was filmed in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that's my next vacation I want to go to New Orleans. So Glenn, get ready. You're going to go see New Orleans with me, and we're going to visit
I don't want to meet a vampire. No, I'll pass.
Eat lots of garlic, right?
Yeah, I don't know that I want to be immortal. So I think I would get bored. So, so with AI now, a lot of people are saying AI is taking on its own persona, and that it is. I don't want to compare it to a spiritual thing, but it's growing to be a supernatural thing. Yeah. So, what do you think about that?
I read my first book that had an AI character in it just this week. I haven't finished it yet, but it's interesting because it's a romance. But the girl like is going to her reunion, and she needs a date, and then so she contacts this service where she gets this AI robot date that's like basically is her perfect match, right? And she kind of and because her friend suggested to her, and her friend is like in a relationship with this. And many people, even, I was just seeing a story in New York Times this week, many people, these chat GPTs robots. Many people are in relationships with these AI personalities for years, and they're friends to them. So it was kind of that idea where she had a friend that'd been in the relationship with this robot for years, and she was trying to decide, do I go with the real live person or do I go with the perfect robot because they're perfect, right? So it was interesting to read about that. I hadn't read that kind of book yet, but yeah, I mean, if robots can live forever, vampires can live forever, right? So
Yeah,
kind of a
well,
vampire, right?
they're saying AI is the next thing, whatever that thing is. I always think of like Terminator. I go to like that side of the science fiction. Our Transformers, they take over. So,
Well, I mean, they were I don't know. They were kind of AI-ish, I guess, but no, I guess they had lives, but I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about the Transformers. I shouldn't talk about them because
they were kind of like a human in a robot form, and they could be killed, or they what I think they called it. They lost their energon, so they could be killed. Of course, they could be rebuilt. So, but yeah, and that's kind of what I think with AI. It's going to be some big, overpowering thing one day, ruling mankind because we're going to be stupid and blow shit up. So,
yeah, cross our fingers. Hope not, right?
It's up in the air. So, but yeah. I mean, I wondered sometime if that would be like the next, I'll call it realm, or the next progression in society, is that we make it to that, and then they're like, no, you're too stupid, we're going to rule you. So
there's a lot of science fiction being written about that too. So
sure. Now you've completed your series, but you haven't completely stopped writing. You've got to have some other projects in mind, don't you?
I do, yes. So as I mentioned, I had 12 different fantasy characters I needed for this in the finale. And I've written a short story about a Nyx character, Brynja, who is in the finale to the Realm Chronicles series to be a Fae. And I have like I said, I have a short story coming out in a magazine in 2026. I think it's coming out in January. So I'm excited about that. And I'm just thinking about like a longer novel based on that character, and a little bit about the Nyx, who are, global warming is not doing great things to the oceans they live in. So I'm thinking about what that looks like and if that's my next series.
Interesting. Have you ever thought about dipping your toe in any other genre?
I write romance too. So I have a pen named Maria Jane that I'm writing my perfect romance series. So I will release that book. It's going to be called Perfect Secrets. It's coming out probably next June, I think is what we decided. Yeah, like mid-June.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Now, you might have to school me or correct me on this. I may sound stupid. There's like a spicy level to the romance. What is your spicy level?
Well, I think if you go on the TikTok 5 chili pepper spice level, I think I'm like at a 2. So it's fade to black or closed door romance, basically. So they kiss, there's no graphic nudity, and that they have sex, but you don't see it. It's like fade to black. The next morning, the lovely couple is waking up in bed together. So yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. No, that's what I wanted to, because somewhere somebody told me, one of the authors, it may have been you, talking about the spicy level, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
I think I'm the one that told you about the spice level.
I was kind of disappointed I was only a 2 on a spice level, because to me, that's pretty racy as far as growing up in the South within the Bible Belt.
I grew up in Oklahoma in the South in the Bible Belt, and the books I listened to would make my mother blush.
You're past a 2, aren't you?
What I listened to, yeah. It's pretty.
We had a guest on, and I'm going to struggle to remember her name. Gosh. And I was all in on the Bigfoot. did I tell you this before? I was all in. She had researched. She knew all about Bigfoot and the characters, this, and I was like all in. And she comes out with this quote from one of her books, "The green eyes looked up from between my thighs." And I'm like, what? What? Luckily, my co-host was there because it took a total right turn in the conversation. And I'm like,
no, Bigfoot romance is a thing. It is.
Yeah.
It is a big thing.
I just found this out not long ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they get pretty, some could get pretty risque.
I never knew that. So, and she too had, I requested the interview with the one author, but she thought I wanted the other author because she's like, he writes under two names. And I was like, what? So I was the country Southern boy going, wait a minute, what? Tell me about this.
I know. Don't you know everything about Bigfoot?
I didn't know those things. She told me. So I was kind of shocked, but she did her research. I'll give her credit for that. But yeah, I was probably about 10 shades of red during that interview. So, she would have probably been about a 6 on the spice level. So.
My favorite spicy author, her name is Erica Proudly, but she goes under Sephora Book. She's like top spice right there. Like,
I'm boring apparently. I read comic books and and crime novels. So.
You know, they make true crime spice too, romance.
Well, I'm learning they make all kinds of romance. So.
I'm listening to one about dirty bikers. So
what? I'm going to write a book.
Biker club.
Oh yeah, bikers. That's not even. That's pretty mainstream right there.
Well, the concept of what's going on in the book is not mainstream.
Well, yeah, no, but still, I mean, biker erotica is, a thing among people that like erotica.
Like Glenn, there's mask
erotica.
Knew. There's so much.
I'm apparently Tricia. Apparently, I live a sheltered life, so I never knew these things. That's why I enjoy talking to y'all and learning these things.
My mother got me hooked on romance novels, but my romance novels are nothing compared to hers. Mine are worse than hers.
Picture, what was the long-haired guy? He was on the cover of all of them. Fabio. Yeah. So.
Well, like now, the guys that are on these romance novels give Fabio a run for his money.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but you wonder how enhanced those are, right? Like,
well, there's actually one guy that a lot of the books they put on their cover. A lot of romance writers do, and I follow him on TikTok, and he looks just like the cover.
Reminds me of a joke at the fire station. We'll run a call, and it'll be an attractive lady such as yourself, and she'll go, well, where's the hot fireman? And we're like, that's just the people up in the office. That's not really us.
The people with the pretty faces don't run into the burning buildings, right?
That's like those TikTok videos where they show the firefighters walking out with the hose, and then it says, do not set your house on fire. These are actors.
Yeah. So, and then I learned there apparently is, I guess, firefighter erotica and police erotica. I was like, I've lived a sheltered life. So
nowadays they can write anything into erotica.
Yeah, and that's the perk. One of the perks of Amazon. You can buy them, not go to a store, and everything's 24/7 at your fingertips. So that makes it even more convenient.
In discreet packaging.
Right, you don't have to have a paperback out on the train. You can listen to or scroll your phone to read whatever you want, and nobody will know. So.
I listen to my books while I do my work.
I couldn't concentrate.
She's listening to her book right now.
No, I'm not.
I'm kidding.
Well, Harley, you've read her books. Give her an honest review. Just tell her what you think.
I absolutely love it. I haven't started the new one yet because, well, I haven't I work a lot, so I do more Audible here lately. So I'm off work tomorrow, and I'll probably have it finished tomorrow. Yeah, I don't take long to read books.
Fun. Yeah, I am working on the audiobooks. So the audiobooks are available for the first 3 books in the series, To Be a Fae Queen, To Be a Fae Guardian, and To Be a Fae Legend. And my person has the production for To Be a Fae Rogue right now. So that will be out probably in January. And then To Be a Fae
didn't
will be
know
out
they
on
were on
Audible in
Audible.
March. So
I'm gonna have to download them.
How do you interview the people that do the audio? Is it like you're hiring them for a job, or how does that work?
Yes, I do. The Kingdom Journals are on audiobook 2. So the first person I met was Amy Deutschler, and I was just at a con in St. Louis. I think I was at I don't remember what that one was called, but anyway, and she was just walking around giving out cards, and I met her in person. I was like, ooh, I want to do this. Like, let's talk. So she sent me some samples, and I loved her work. So she did the first 2, Kingdom of Embers and Kingdom of Darkness. And then she knew someone, Daniel Delgado, who did the second 2 books because they're male leads. So Kingdom of Honor and Kingdom of War. And then when I went to look for a new narrator, then those 2 people were able to introduce me to several people who I listened to and just picked who I felt sounded best for the voice.
Would you ever okay, so some of the books that I've listened to here lately, they've been doing, and I love her as an author, and it's funny because I only know her name because it's not my screen on here, like my podcast persona. It's my actual name. But she did AI generated reading, and like I love her books, but I do not like the AI generated reading because it sounds weird when the AI is reading it because they don't have that emphasis on certain like emotions that when someone else is reading it has.
Right. Yeah. Through the Kindle and Amazon system, I'm sure there are other systems to do this too, but they offer, like, I could produce my ebook, use AI through their system, and you get to you get to pick what kind of voice you want. And how you want it to sound. I think they give you I haven't actually tried it. I've just heard from people this is how it works. Like, you get to pick which voice you want, and then AI will read the whole book. I haven't done it yet because people have told me just that it doesn't sound human or natural. You don't get the same emotion that you get. And I love listening to my books. It's just like, it makes me so happy because I feel like I'm right there.
Like when it has the AI generated, it makes it hard for me to want to keep listening to the book because words that need the emphasis on it, they don't know how to say it right, and AI doesn't pronounce it right, and they don't have the emotion that's needed for certain scenes in books. Like when the character gets upset and they need to emphasize that the character's upset. AI doesn't have that.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't listened to an AI generated book yet.
Audible's AI generated is horrible.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of flat. It's monotone, so to speak.
Well, not even that. Like words that they pronounce words wrong.
Right. I mean, definitely when I start on a new book, I will give, my narrator the new book, and they'll come back to me with like an Excel file of like, here's these words. This is how I think you pronounce it. Is this the way you want it pronounced? And so there's always that back and the forth in the beginning. So, there's a lot of work that these narrators do. So, and I love my narrators. They're amazing. So the first person who was Titania, I'm going to blank on her name. Wow. Oh, Jillian Yetter. So we won an award for To Be a Fae Guardian, which is the second audiobook in the series. And that was just so exciting to be able to go to the award ceremony with her. And she was a high school teacher. She taught English at a high school, and that was the narrating was her second career. And she even had pink hair. She had pink hair just like my fairy on my cover did. So that I felt like that was like a match made in heaven to have her be able to narrate that. Yeah.
Brings your character to life.
I know, it really does.
Yeah. I mean, and now with the character that you put on the front, did you have somebody in mind when you drew that, or did you? I guess you didn't draw that. You had somebody.
No, I didn't draw that. So my cover person had. I don't even remember how he found the images, but this was an ice queen. She had white hair. She didn't have any wings. But we just found a lot of images of this same ice queen. So you'll see on the back, that's like a different pose sort of. But so then she reddened her hair and she gave her wings. So it just kind of transformed that character into a character that looked more like my fairy that I described. Yeah.
I guess you kind of described it to her to draw, and then like with your voice author, you went back and forth, or actor, you went back and forth.
Right. Yeah.
Did I use the right word? Actor, actress?
Yeah, they're actors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Voice actor. Okay. That's right.
Yeah. Harley, did you? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, is there a way to like purchase signed copies of your books?
There are. So you can go to my website or you can just email me. But if you go to my website, I think you have to go to About Me and scroll down. There's a link to buy signed copies. I should make it easier, probably. I need to put the link on the first
email
page.
Me her email so I can get some signed copies.
Okay. Yeah, it's Tricia at TriciaCopeland.com. If you email me, that's usually the easiest way.
Yeah. Oh, I put it all in the show notes, but probably won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be Friday. But
yeah, I have Christmas bundles right now, Christmas gift bundles. So that's a lot of fun.
Cool. And I don't know if the last time you were here, we're now on Dare Talk Radio in Australia. So we're live in Australia right now. So your voice is going around the world. Can customers there, I guess, through Amazon get your stuff? Or
definitely through Amazon, right? It's on Kindle Unlimited, obviously Audible for the audiobooks, and they'll be excited to know that where Titania lives, my main character, is below so if you look on here, so her kingdom is right, Auburn, which is on the the eastern side of Australia. Like I said, it kind of, their realm mirrors our bedrock realm and our continents. So yeah, I have a lot of the Australian foliage and animals kind of woven into their lives there.
Cool. Have you ever been to Australia?
I haven't. I've looked at so many pictures of Australia just to like imagine it and picture it in my head so I can know where my fairy is. But
it's beautiful, but everything wants to kill you, apparently. So
yeah, that was how it seemed from Crocodile Dundee, right?
Exactly. So somebody sent me a video, and it's a kangaroo at the back door of a person's house, and it's a white kangaroo. I'm pretty sure it's AI, but that is the most terrifying thing to me. If that came to, it's got like human hands.
Ooh.
It's almost like it's looking with eyes of a human, and I'm like, no.
Well, I'm not sure it's that much different from growing up in South Georgia, though. I mean, I had alligators down at the end of my street. You have like 5 different types of poisonous snakes. You have huge spiders. You have huge cockroaches that fly. I mean, yeah.
Every part of the world has something, but yeah.
Hey, in Ohio, we have deer that walk up to our doors.
I could handle that, but this thing's 6 foot, looks like hands of a human. That thing could open the door. It would have been in the door.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, nope. Me and you cannot exist in the same world.
I've heard they're very strong too. So yeah.
Well, and then the fact that the moms carry the baby in the pouch, And
Sure.
I've seen them just climb out and just climb back in, and it's like watching the life cycle of the little kangaroo from when it's all the way to big. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. The Joey's, is that right? Do you
Yeah.
know, Tricia?
So,
Okay. Yeah. Somebody will email me if I said it wrong. So well, so that's interesting that you put it down there in that part of the world and you researched learning about that area. That's cool.
right. So in the Kingdom Journals and Kingdom of War, they were searching for the fairies because they wanted the fairies to join their army to fight this evil witch. And they were going to like the oldest forest in the world because they were told that they could find these fairy rings in the oldest forest around the oldest trees. So one of the places is the Daintree forest that the witches went to try to find Titania, or try to find a fairy, and who they found was Titania. So
Cool. Okay, somebody in the chat got me. Goes, that's right. Kangaroo babies are Joey's. So, all right, I didn't screw that up. So they won't drop me on the radio network now. Well, that is cool. Now,
They like listening to us, Glenn.
They do, and I haven't figured out why. I just totally lost my train of thought. Have you ever had any experiences where you've seen a fairy?
I haven't seen a fairy yet. No, I'm still waiting and watching. I have an obsession with mushrooms, and so every time I go hiking or go anywhere, I'm always like inspecting the mushrooms and trying to find the fairy rings. So I'll find it someday.
You think they exist?
Well, just like vampires. I mean, who's to say they're there but haven't shown themselves yet?
Is there a difference between and I hope I don't offend you with this, fairies and little people? Because I like the Cherokees called them little people.
Right. So depending on who you ask. So in some books, like fae is any type of magical being. It could be a pixie or a troll, or any type of magical or fantasy being is called a fae. In my fae, they are winged creatures that are about human size. They can fly around. And then all the different magical beings are just different. They're not all fae. So really it depends on what lore you read. People have done so many different things with fairies and fae. So
okay,
it just depends. Yeah.
But no, I kind of asked because on a piece of property that's in the family, my cousin lives on it actually. He swears that there's the ring, I guess, and he has actually seen. He called them little people going in and out. It's near a creek and it's in the mountains of East Tennessee, and he swears. And of course, he's like, "We always believe in Bigfoot. Why can't you believe in this?" I'm like, "No, I didn't say that." But yeah, so he believes, but I think he thinks they're more like the Cherokee lore. So, but until you meet one, you're really not going to know. It's like Bigfoot, you know? So,
right. And almost every different people around the world have some, version of a fairy or a fae, whether it's the Irish or the Celtic or the Germans or the French, or, almost all of the people around the world do. So,
yeah. Now, have you ever had any experience with the paranormal?
I have. I think I talked to you last time about the fact that my son's cat had run away, and my sister, who passed like almost 3 years ago, she was a big cat lover. So I had started this thing with her where I, tell her, "Hey, I'm having this issue. Could you help me with this?" And the cat had been gone for 5 days, and the day I asked my sister to help find the cat came back. So that was the one I think I told you about last time, but I have an even like next level one. It's even next level for me. So I went hiking around Salt Lake City in June, and I was wearing a pair of sunglasses that I had for like 4 years. They're Target sunglasses, like $15 sunglasses, but I had them for 4 years. I love them. They're the best sunglasses, but they fell down into the river and they floated away. Like they were gone. And my best friend was there. She was with me, and she saw them go into the river, gone. I even bought a new pair, So 4 months later, September, I take the same jacket that I had in Salt Lake City out of my closet. I put my hand in the pocket, and the sunglasses are there.
Wow.
So I have no explanation for that same pair of sunglasses being in that jacket that I took to Salt Lake City. And I even called my friend as soon as I found the sunglasses, and I said, "You remember my sunglasses going into the river, right?" She was like, "Yes, you were devastated by your sunglasses going to the river." I'm like, "My sunglasses are in my pocket." So that's my newest paranormal story, and I'm convinced that my sister brought them back. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, our manifestation, if there are fairies, maybe they, they've taken a liking to you.
Maybe so. Yes. My sister is directing the fairies.
I believe there's things out there that we can't see. And unless we open our third eye, we won't ever experience it.
I'm definitely on a gratitude and manifesting journey right now. So I am, yeah.
Manifesting is a real thing. So much so the federal government has put billions of dollars into it. So it's a real thing. I don't know what they're trying to manifest. Let's hope we don't find out. But yeah, and I've had experiences, that's pretty cool where something physically come back. I've had friends tell me, that they've lost their keys because they normally they're on the desk. They're gone. I can't find them. And then come back hours later and they're on the desk. So tricksters, whatever it is. So, and like you were talking about, if we could shift between dimensions, that's even weirder, but
well, my husband laughs at me because he's like, "No, that's science." And I'm like, "Okay, my brain can't comprehend that, but it can comprehend fairies, angels, demons, all those types of things." So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's two comets hurtling towards Earth right now. How do we know they're not aliens? You believe in that, by the way?
Oh, definitely. Yes. There's so many galaxies and star systems and solar systems. How could, and similar, they've already identified lots of planets that are could be similar to our ecosystems and temperatures and climates. And they found proof of life on Mars, from generations ago, billions of years ago, probably. But, yeah, so there has to be some other life form out there.
I think with this latest comet, the scientists that, know it all, I'm using air quotes there, I think they've been kind of taken back to how little we know because this comet acted so different. But it didn't act like the pre-programming way we've been trained that it's supposed to act. It's doing something different. And I think that's really made scientists question a lot of things.
Right, because comets usually just go on one orbit, right? And just repeat the same orbit. So I haven't read up on the newest comet, but
it's basically it's on the same level as our planets going through, and apparently because science, the gravity, the whatever, they normally don't do that. They go kind of opposite or to the side. Okay. But this one's coming in, and the way it's coming in, both of them now, that the second one that just actually appeared, how the hell does that happen, is flat, and it's going on a pattern that comes close to so many planets in our system, but doesn't interfere with them. Well, if it is, I have a whole thing about that. I watched this other one is coming in from the other side. And I'll sidetrack for a second. The military theories, they're both coming in flat and they're both coming at the same time. And we're defenseless because there's going to be one on each side of the planet and we can't do anything about it. And that's like a military move, flank your enemy. So
that would be the hugest conspiracy theory ever, right?
Yeah, and that's a new one. Yeah, even the military is looking at going, that's a pretty good move. So, But I guess we'll wait and see if we get blown up. So I think we'll get blown up by our own self before that'll happen. But Tricia, you have your own website. You're on Amazon. You're on Audible. You're going to be doing more books, right?
Yep.
And when's your next one coming out?
June.
June? You're going to come back and talk to us there?
Of course, I will come back and talk to you.
Yeah. You got to. And then you can tell Harley about the other books. So we'll have to book you under a different name and bring you in.
That sounds, that'll work.
You put a red wig on or something. I don't know. I'm being silly. But yeah. When you were out hiking, by the way, did you camp in the woods or did you?
I'm not a big camper. I camped as a young kid and I think I just got over camped. So now I really like mattresses, warm heat and cooling, and as well as running water.
Camping, yeah. Well, no, day hikes are good. So
yeah, I can hike all day. I love hiking.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people will hike in with a little tent on their back and they'll camp out. Have you ever, when you were here in Georgia, did you do the Appalachia?
I hiked Blood Mountain where the Appalachian Trail starts. That's the one hike I've done on the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. Hike a lot here in Colorado.
Yeah. Well, gosh, you got so much beautiful area there. So, yeah. And then you got gold mines out there too, by the way, just side note.
There are some, yeah. It's mainly silver mines, I think, up in the mountains. I've been inside a silver mine before with my kids. We did one of the, you can go on the trails with the buckets, and that was really cool. Oh,
I've never heard of that. It does sound cool. So, like you're actually down. How far down did you go?
It was far. It was like 500 feet or something. I mean, it was dark. You wore headlamps and you put on the raincoats, and it's like in a cave, so it was like 65 degrees. If it's in the winter, it feels warm. If it's summer, it feels cool. But yeah, it was really neat how, I mean, just I kind of get weirded out. I don't like enclosed spaces, but my kids thought it was cool. So
yeah, well, that would be. Now, if you were going to go to one of your planets, you'd use something like that, right? Oh, definitely, right. Yeah, okay. Cool. I'm on the right track here. Get it? Track? No, never mind. Sorry. No, yeah. When you do your next book, we're obviously going to have you back. Between now and then, you have got to go into a gold mine or a silver mine again and tell us all about it. So, okay, I will. You can live stream it to us from there. That would be fun. That probably could. You said in your other world there's no technology. Right. The Fae don't use computers. They don't have electricity. So it's more like a medieval epic fantasy feel. How in the heck do they survive? I don't know. They raise animals and they raise their vegetables and they go hunting and they.
Glenn, the Amish people do it.
Well, I guess. I don't know.
Still to this day and age.
I guess. I don't know. I think as a first responder, they always trained us that if something like that ever happened by day 3, the world would pretty much be on its own. So. Well, that's how we were feeling at one point during COVID, right? We're stocking our pantries. I mean, exactly. Well, we were going to be eating out of cans. We weren't going to be growing maybe some people could have been growing their own food. Yeah, I mean, it depends where you live. God, don't get Campbell's soup. You heard that they print their meat, so. Oh, they print their meat? Is it AI? Yeah, that was just a big scandal 2 days ago.
How do you print meat?
I don't know. I don't want to know. I told my wife, throw all the Campbell's products out the door. I don't want them. They're 3D printed meat. We went too far with technology right there. So, all right, Tricia. I told you we'd only keep you about an hour. We're getting close to that. So, thank you for coming on Thanksgiving Eve. Do you have plans tomorrow? I do. Yeah, I'm going to have a house full of people, and all my kids are helping me cook. So, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. How old are your kids? If you
they are, I have 2 that are 21 and 1 that's 23.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So
You're kidding. No, that's not possible.
that's possible. Yeah, I know. They get older and older each year. I don't know how that happens.
I thought you were in your 20s. So.
Oh, that would be nice. No. I knew what was the movie we were talking about that I knew. Now it's left me, but anyway, yeah.
I'm astonished. So okay, I'll shut up before getting in trouble. But I would have never guessed that. So I figured you say, oh, they're like 5 and 8. So.
Oh no, they were at one point, but yeah.
Unfortunately, I've got a tiny terrorist here. He's 5 years old, and he pretty much runs his house. So it's my grandson. So and he lives up to the name Tiny Terrorist. So, Tricia, have a happy Thanksgiving, and you've got my email address. Feel free to reach out and anytime you want to just chat or whatever, and I'll get you and Harley in touch so you and her can get a book or something. I don't know. Put Harley in a book. So
that's a good idea. You have to tell me what character you want to be, Harley.
I'd be good with that.
So, all right, Tricia, I'm gonna get out of here. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if I don't see you before then. So
thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It was great. Let me get that down there. That was great. Good show, Harley. I'm glad you showed up. So not that I didn't want Brenda along. I mean, I had Brenda during the day. So she's my day girl, you're my night girl. So I get girls for all kinds of time. So Harley, do you have any plans for Thanksgiving?
Not really. I'm just gonna cook a turkey.
Okay. Well, nothing here tomorrow.
It's my day off. I don't want to really do much.
Yeah, nothing. Brenda says, yeah, right. Nothing here tomorrow for us because they're going to the other parents. So this weekend will be ours. So she's off, but she is making sausage balls. So, which is like my delicacy. So I will be on the couch eating my weight in sausage balls and cheese crackers. So
I like sausage balls.
Yeah, well, I've got a thing for her sausage balls. So, got to keep this FM friendly. Harley, do you got anything planned over the next couple of days?
Saturday we have our wrestling music bracket part 7, I think it is.
Okay.
And we're working our way down to part 15 of all wrestling theme songs.
All right.
And this one I'm excited for. It has what is his name?
You're so excited. You forgot.
No, yeah, my brain's not working. It has Ric Flair's daughter's theme song in it.
Oh, yeah, I can see her face. I can't remember her name, but yeah, I can see her face. Okay.
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte, there you go. As soon as you said
it. So she's become quite popular here lately, and I love her theme song because it says "Bow down to the Queen."
There you go. Well, I want to thank everybody at WZQR for allowing us to tickle your ears, and WRFN in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you. Anytime you want to come over to the Sportcat shows, come on over and find us on YouTube. Please give us a subscribe. And as always, we love you in Australia. Thank you for allowing us to come into your ears. And I hope all of you all have a safe and happy holiday. Or if you don't have a holiday where you are, I hope you have a safe and happy day. Brenda and I will be back Monday for our normal shenanigans. So we will see you then. Until then, everybody have a great day, night, whatever it is in your part of the world.
Bye.
Bye.
You ever wonder,